I don't want to spend too much time on it, but Illinois just released a statement saying, please note, as Illinois continues in the NCAA tournament, be advised that Terrence Shannon Jr. will remain unavailable to the media pursuant to the advice of his legal counsel. I do believe that this will be. I'm not at all, going to sit here and argue about what legal counsel is suggesting. However, I know that in circles around this now, there's going to be a lot of discussion about this in Boston because you're going to have a lot of national media here surrounding Illinois, and it's going to be a different level of press. So, Rob, as we are heading to Boston, I don't remember the last time I ever saw this where a team's best player just isn't able to speak to anybody, not even television.
Yeah,
right.
No, it's going to be an awkward situation. It's going to be a tough one to navigate, and I'm honestly surprised that it has not been a bigger story so far this season. Right, like I figured that once he came back, it was going to be something that dominated headlines. And now that he is back and he's playing great and he's playing at an All-American level, I feel like it doesn't really get talked about at all. So I'm going to be very curious to see. You know what? But let's stick in the East region because we're kind of talking about it there. I feel like it's going to be something that is talked about quite a bit because this is going to be the chance for a lot of the media members that will be following UConn's back-to-back title run and attempt are going to be in the same arena as him. But I also wonder if I don't know if you can't really ask his teammates about it. Like, what are you going to ask them? And if you ask Brad Underwood,
Brad Underwood, teammates.
Yeah, Brad Underwood's going to give you like the whatever answer has been approved by legal counsel at the University of Illinois. So you're not going to get anything out of him. And we can sit here and we can talk about it and mention it and bring it up, and it's going to be the exact same thing over and over again. So, Blake Widmer just mentioned Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller did speak to the media. He spoke to the media at the Sweet 16. He spoke to the media. Yeah, he spoke to the media.
I mean, we haven't seen a player get held off from press, like could not talk to anyone since Patrick Ewing as a freshman at Georgetown. They would not let him talk. He didn't do any interviews, which is crazy. But it was the 1980s, and it was John Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever remember a player of this stature not being able to talk to anybody. I mean, CBS isn't even able to talk to him. That is insane.
Yeah. No, but I mean...
What if they make the Final Four? That's crazy, man. Couldn't you tell TV, like, hey, like, please no questions? Tracy Wolfson's not going to be hunting down a question on that. You're talking basketball. I don't know. I just think, you're exactly right, Rob.
There could be there could be legal ramifications for him getting irritated with a question and him saying, like, I don't know what happened. Like, so I just, this is a weird one. I actually think it's a smart thing for the attorney to be like, hey, dude, just
it is a smart thing for the attorney. Yeah, it is. I'm just saying
it's a smart thing for the long term of the kid.
Yeah, you can't.
So who's going to win? Who's going to win this game?
Yeah, you can't put him in a situation where he's talking on in front of a live television audience because you can't do it if you're the attorney. And I understand why it would be frustrating as fans and as media members and as people from the other side. All right, I think the way that we talked about this, T.O., in Vegas, I kind of regret how that conversation went because since I was there and since Trevor was there, a lot of it was, ooh, can UConn end up playing Illinois? How crazy would that be if our producer and one of the guys on the show are both there because they're fans of these two teams? And we overlooked just how good Iowa State is. And I think Iowa State has a very real chance of winning this game because of what they are defensively, right? And I understand that they may not have the athleticism to deal with someone like a Terrence Shannon, but they got a bunch of really good individual defenders. And I think they have a chance to be able to win this thing. Like, I don't think that it's crazy to think that they can beat Illinois.
Yeah, here's my thing. I almost feel like if there's a team to beat them, it is a team that's going to win it in isolation. Because whenever you play Iowa State, they're tough on the ball, sure, but it's because they know what you're running better than you know what you're running. And Otzelberger has done a terrific job defensively this year with Iowa State. Terrific job, and they have enough shot making. I really do think they have enough shot making. That being said, with Illinois, you're not in rotation because you're just basically going to be there stagnant. And the fact of the matter is you have to guard the guy in front of you. And unless you're going to get yourself out of position by throwing another person at the ball, which I don't see Iowa State doing, it's a tough one to for Iowa State to really hunker down and scout, if that makes sense. And whoever said that we've overlooked the Big 12 on this show, no, we haven't. Be quiet. The thing is I just don't see how that. They're going to be great on the ball. It's a matter of this is how you beat Iowa State, by having great individual talent. That's kind of my hang up.
Well, that's true. But even then, it's still hard to beat Iowa State. I mean, this is going to be a real, really good game. This is my favorite game in the Sweet 16. You know,
Really?
Because you combine the best analytical offense
since January 1. So you're right. So since January 1, the best offense in college basketball at Illinois, the best defense in basketball.
Not just since January 1, overall in KenPom. I mean, Illinois is number one in offense.
That must have just been,
That's a dated stat, Tio. You need to check your facts.
Yeah,
okay, we need to get you.
I need to get.
So not only is Illinois the number one offense on KenPom and Iowa State's the number one defense on KenPom, they are currently the number one offense and number one defense on Tyler Palm as well.
Right, on Tyler Hansborough's metric, which is just there's not really there's as much of a formula behind Typom as there is with the selection committee. Boom, roasted.
There's more thought put into Typom.
Because it's like, there's more of a consensus with Typom in that it's literally him making.
That's a good point.
So here's my thing. Like the argument is great offense beats great defense. Okay, but Iowa State does not get enough credit for how they manage the game offensively as well. They still have a top 50 unit, okay? It's not a top 15, top 20 unit. It's not an explosive offensive unit. But you know what Iowa State does terrifically, guys, that can frazzle Illinois? They don't turn the ball over. Iowa State does not turn the ball over. Taman Lipsey and Keyshawn Gilbert, and when Trey King emerges as an X factor, and our guy Milan Momcilovic is doing great things for this team. Like, they have a group of individuals that have played complementary basketball all season long and just fight you tooth and nail when they're on defense. You are exactly right. If there is a formula to beat Iowa State, Illinois has that formula. Because as you just said, individual playmakers are what's needed to get past that defense.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, those individuals got to show up as well. And sometimes they get frazzled too. And Iowa State, they've seen every form of bucket getter in the Big 12. They're ready for this game. Toughness is going to win this game. And that's why I'm going to keep what my bracket was initially. I have 7 of my Elite 8 alive. Iowa State will win this game. I've got the Cyclones to just grind it out, to not turn the ball over. Lipsey and Gilbert do enough.
I don't hate it. I think it's going to be close. My guess is that it'll probably be like a close to a pick'em game. I tend to think that the talent on Illinois is going to be a little bit too much for Iowa State to deal with, but I don't hate it, man. I don't hate it. I think Iowa State is very, very good. They remind me a little bit of those Texas Tech teams in the Chris Beard era. And I just want to can I just make a point real quick? I can't remember who it was. I saw someone pop up and they were saying that Tyler Hansbrough, it was Sean. He said Tyler Hansbrough called Illinois a fringe tournament team. Okay. Let's be very clear about this. It was the first game after Terrence Shannon was not available. And Tyler Hansbrough said, Illinois looks to me like a fringe tournament team without Terrence Shannon, which let's be honest, was not the craziest take in the world, considering that they were missing a first-team All-American at the time, right? Let's just get that out of here. He did not say – the people are acting like last week he said Illinois was a fringe tournament team. No. He said it the day after Terrence Shannon was gone, when nobody thought that Terrence Shannon was going to be back. Okay. Sorry. I just had to get that ran off my chest. I will just say real quick, I have a UConn San Diego State preview pod coming out on the Top Dogs podcast with myself and a guy that was on San Diego State's coaching staff last season named JD Pollock, who is now in the media space. So I'll go at length on that one if you want a preview of it tomorrow. I will just say really quick, I do think that is a tough matchup for UConn, a tougher one than people realize.